Hello everyone, Petrosine here with a short primer on Power Auras. You activate Power Auras by typing /POWA once it is installed in your add-ons directory. Up will pop a user interface that allows you to set up various spell effects and display them on your screen. Here you can see I have some global effects such as Divine Shield, Pain Suppression, Hand of Protection, Cloak of Shadows, Anti-Magic Shell, and an active debuff for when you're in a battleground and someone marks you AFK, Spell Reflect, Enrages, and all of these display on my screen when my target has them. You can ignore the green in the background. That's simply an artifact of the alpha channel on these. But you can see the shield comes up when someone has Divine Shield, and it also makes this sound too. So you can set up these effects for all kinds of things. It's really useful in PvP to be able to know when, for example, a paladin has Divine Shield up. What we're going to do in this tutorial, though, is we're going to set up some spell effects for a mage. You see I have none at the top of the screen right now. I like to have a row of cooldown monitors at the top of my screen for my characters, especially cooldown intensive classes like mages in PvP. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit the new button, and up pops our configuration dialog. Under activation, we want it to be activated by, and I need to find it on the menu here, spell cooldown, not spell alert, spell cooldown. And the spell cooldown we're going to monitor first is, let's say, blink. So we enter blink into the field. We make sure all of our other configuration settings are set the way we want. And also for this, we're going to want a timer that shows us when blink is off of cooldown. So we'll show. And we'll click Use Own Texture so that Power Auras will display this cooldown with the actual blink icon. We're going to position it on screen where we like. You see the controls at the top allow you to set the X and Y and the size and the opacity and symmetry and other things that I typically don't bother with. Then when we close the interface, you can see that the icon appears up there, and we have a number that's ticking up, which is not what we intended, so we'll have to go and fix that in a second. But you can see that when we do blink, the icon does disappear like we want. Let's bring up the interface again, and let's find where we can fix that problem. We look under the timers. You can see that it says here, show time since activation. We want that unchecked, and that will properly then show the cooldown for the spell. And you can see, boom, the blink icon disappears when we blink, and we have a timer ticking down until blink is off of cooldown in the center of our screen, which is not exactly what we want. We want to anchor that somewhat differently. Let's find out where that is. It's under the timer tab, and relative to main aura, we can select bottom, and that should place it directly under the icon, just like that. I also like to have my timers that are on cooldown red, so let's set that. Let's set the color, and select the color here. That's good. Also want it a little bigger than it was, and you can adjust all these parameters to your liking for whatever spell effect you're setting up. Center it a little better. And I think that looks pretty good. Let's try that out again. And when we blink, we can see the icon disappears, and it shows us the cooldown to when blink is going to appear next. Now, the problem we have here is we are going to have a row of icons up at the top, and we won't know that that cooldown applies to blink because the icon won't be there anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this spell effect into page 1. We're going to delete the timer. We don't need a timer on the second one. And what we're going to do is invert the sense of this one and change its color. Eventually. Here we go. Let's change its color. I like this also to be the similar red that I set for the timer. That will tell me that blink is on cooldown when I look up there. And you can see again, it looks kind of weird and green when you're setting it up. Don't worry about that too much. There. That's what I'm looking for. So when I blink, I know blink is going to be up in 8, 7, 6, and that's very important when a warrior is following me. I want to know that blink is coming up in a certain amount of time. Also, what I like to do is the activation for the cooldown version, I like it to pulse. I like to wiggle a little bit. Tell me it's on cooldown. So there we go. We've set up the spell timer. You can see it jiggling around, and in 10 seconds it'll switch to the other one. In order to get this kind of an effect where the icon changes color, so to speak, you really do have to set up 2 separate effects for the same cooldown. And so now we're going to set up a second spell effect at the top of the screen. Let's find our first spell effect we made, copy it to the same page, that's fine. And we're going to change the activation to a different spell. The spell we're picking this time is Ice Block. Now we bring up the interface again, and what we're going to do is adjust the position of our new spell effect relative to the other one. To do that, we turn on both of them. And what you can do is you can click on one of the existing spell effects, and it will temporarily turn it on so you can line things up. So there we have it. Now we have Ice Block, cooldown, monitor in the top center of our screen, just like we like. So when we hit Ice Block, you can see that we have a cooldown monitor up here. I still need to copy the second version of the Ice Block one that turns red when it's on cooldown. Let's do that now. So we hit copy, we paste it into page 1, and we're going to edit then the timer, turn that off, set it to red, and click the invert so that it will activate when it's on cooldown. And there we have it. So now we know that our Ice Block comes up in 3 minutes just by looking at the top of our screen. Very convenient. Here you can see it in its final form, where I've put a bunch of cooldowns at the top, and I'm ready for a game of AB knowing that all my cooldowns are ready.